everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you guys so much for coming back to my channel. Today is the 22nd of February 2021. I wanted to come here and do another update of what's happening. As you guys know, dealing with this pandemic, but I'm gonna talk to you guys about something that was trending all day today on Twitter. It was what's gonna happen in England this starting March 8th. So they're saying starting March 8th, all secondary schools, the schools are gonna reopen, so they're gonna allow the kids to go back indoors. But they're saying everybody's gonna have to require to wear the face mask in the classroom when they return to school on March 8th. This means that all their pupils will have to wear the coverings at their desk as well as the corridors. Head teachers could previously use their discretion to enforce masks in the school, but they are now said to be made compulsory. The Prime Minister is due to tell that all year they can go back to the classroom starting March 8 with outdoor after school sports activities allowed to restart as well. So okay, so it seems like they really want to get things back to kind of like a normal routine, but I don't understand, guys. This is the issue that I have, and this is why I made that video yesterday about Fauci. I don't understand. You're gonna enforce people, and that's not the only thing. So they're gonna, this is in London, and I'm talking about that because the countries, they follow each other, what they do. They see how one country takes it, and then they try to do it here, or vice versa, of course. So they're gonna make the kids wear the mask, and they're also gonna have to be tested twice per week at home, as well as the parents. So let's see, everybody's in school, right? Because that actually happened already, right? This happened during the fall season 2020. So they opened the school back up, and somebody tested positive, and then they shut down the school like 3 days after, because they might have been one possibility. I just don't understand how you can deal with that back and forth. I don't understand how you can deal with having that to be tested. Like, why do you have to be tested if you have no symptoms? And I know a lot of people can be asymptomatic, but to make the kids go through all of that, I just feel like it's such a controlled environment, such a demand. Like we had never seen the government so involved on something until it came to this, especially when it comes to your health. So I really hope this is not like opening a new thing that we might see in the future. I don't understand. I mean, when they opened back in September and the kids were back in school, then you get the moms that were like, we don't want to send our kids back to school, it's too early or something. But then again, I always feel like everybody's entitled to their opinion, of course, but the people who back in September, 6 months after this was developed, they still didn't believe it was right to do that. I mean, what's it gonna take? Like, how long are you gonna wait for something to move back to normal? And so they're saying all the evidence shows that schools are safe, and the risk posed to children by COVID is vanishingly small, the Prime Minister Boris Johnson told the press conference on Monday evening. But to offer a greater reassurance, we are introducing twice weekly testing of secondary school and college age kids, and asking them to wear face covering the rest of the time. Twice. Like, to go through that twice, and people can say that's just, it's a quick test and all of that. I get it, but I'm telling you guys, the last days of 2020, I actually was informed that I needed to get tested. I hated to get the test, and after I said, okay, I got my results, I'm negative, people were telling me, oh, you should get the other type of test just to make sure. And that's the thing, like, when does it end? Like, they're saying to us, go get the vaccine, and people go and get the 2 vaccine, and they say, make sure you wear the mask just to make sure. Like, what else is it gonna take? Like, next year's gonna come, and like Fauci said yesterday, everybody's gonna have to wear masks. And like I said, everything he says goes, because he's obviously working with the government. He's like the expert opinion. And I don't understand, like, what is it gonna take? People can show you too negative. You know, some people already had the vaccine, and they're still like, you can't go close to your grandkids, you can't get close to other people, make sure you maintain your distance. It's just, I mean, there's so many other diseases that this is what I don't understand. There's so many other diseases, contagious diseases. I mean, diseases. When I was in school, when I was younger, I mean, lice was like, I mean, it feels like people forgot about lice. Lice was like a pandemic of its own. The minute you found out, like, somebody in your classroom had it, everybody else, like, within days will have it too. And they didn't shut down anything. Like, you weren't like, well, your mom will create like a home remedy or go to the pharmacy and get something for that, even though it's so contagious. And I get it, you can't compare the two. I get it, because COVID is a respiratory issue, but not trying to diminish the effect of it, but to be realistic, also to know, to look at the numbers and know that not everybody who goes through COVID shows symptoms or dies from it. You know what I mean? And there's chicken pox that's also very contagious. People get high fever, and a lot of the people, they don't realize they have chicken pox because, you know, it might not show in their face, but it's more visible. And now with the mask, like, who's gonna tell? Like, really? You know, these days you coughing, everybody assumes you have COVID. So imagine a kid who's at home with chicken pox and they're having fever or whatever. They might not have a mark or something. They're immediately going to be assumed that they have COVID. But now, you know, they're providing this test for everybody to do at home. You know, I just feel like it has taken over so much, you know, so much so. And I feel like people, to be honest, guys, they're grabbing onto COVID and they're not letting it go. I feel like a lot of the times, you know, this is a mental issue too. When you know, not to be ignorant to what's happening. You know, I'm so against being ignorant to what's happening, but sometimes you have to just stop paying attention to something. I mean, like, what is it gonna take? Like, it's almost like, you know, when the election happened here, there was a lot of people getting visions that Trump was gonna stay in office and all of that. But when Mike Pence went in January and did the recounting and whatever, after that, like, you know, it kind of like people got the sense like this is not really gonna happen, and we kind of like, okay, let's continue on living. Imagine right now, February 22nd, imagine Donald Trump still saying that, you know, that he's gonna be still the president, and like, everybody will be like, oh my gosh, you're crazy, move on, like, stop. You know, just because you're talking about it doesn't mean like it's gonna happen. And I feel like this is the whole thing. I feel like there's, what I'm getting at is, I do feel like there's a lot of people who are content in a sense that COVID has changed their way of life in a good part for something better. As weird as that sound, like, I feel like there's a lot of people holding on to COVID because the more that is still alive and happening, something in their lifestyle is not gonna go back to the old ways, which perhaps they didn't like. And it could be so many things, but, you know, you have to understand that with this pandemic, there's also restrictions. Okay, so you can say, you know, I love being home with my kids, but you need to know too, like, there's a lot of people in nursing homes who are dying to see their family members, and they're not being allowed to go in. So it's so strange, you know. It's kind of like hard to explain it, but I do feel like a lot of people are enjoying. I mean, people are enjoying an extra $400 with their unemployment benefits. You know, and like, that's a danger to get used to that. help from the government, even though you're like a complete healthy human being that is able to go ahead and go get a job. That's that's the dangers. I mean, don't think you're fooling anybody. You're like, oh, I am getting all this money. Like I said before to you guys, they're giving you something with one hand, with the other they're going to demand something out of you. Perhaps you don't see it right now, but it's coming. And not to put fear on you, but just to be aware. You cannot take a favor for so long and think that at one point people are not going to like scream out and say like, hey, enough is enough. And you know, everybody's waiting for that. Like if there's a need, I get it, but if you're capable of still going out there and getting a job, like I don't know, being at home, it gets old, I think, very fast. Being at home and not having things to do gets very old. I cannot wait, to be honest, I cannot wait to be able to just go into the store without wearing a mask. I make masks, I sold masks, but I just don't like to wear that. I don't like to not be able to see somebody when they're talking to me, to look at their face and see their lips moving. I don't like that. I cannot wait. This is why I had an issue with what Fauci said, because what is it going to take? They're doing everything you say to do, and still it's not enough. The people still have to wear the vaccine. I don't understand, like, how long is it going to take? Why is it going to take that when people have a permanent mark on them saying COVID free for life? Like, that's never going to happen, because there's not going to be ever an immunity 100% for it, you know. So we just have to, I feel like we should just, I like to see other countries how they're moving on, to be honest. Some countries are just kind of like going back to normal. Some of them are not even wearing masks anymore. But I feel like there's a lot of other people who are really enjoying this control over the masses. And I feel like this is what we have here. I feel like this is what we have. To make a mom have to test their kids before going back to school twice a week. Because now they're going to have to show proof that they did it. And a lot of these tests, you know, like I said before, like I had one and I showed my boss, I said it's negative. She's, well, make sure you go get the other one, which is more accurate. Like, are you kidding me? I just went through one, it's negative. Now I have to get another one? So, it's just, you know, like, what I'm saying is like, there's risk in life everywhere you go. We drive every day, we take planes, we go on vacations, like anything can happen. Look at that airplane that the engine fell off. Anything can happen. So you can't just live in fear, putting on the mask, thinking that you're gonna get sick. Because I do believe that, you know, if you think that's what's gonna happen, that's what you're opening yourself to. So I really hope, you know, I will see what the plan is to allow, I really hope they open back up the nursing homes, because we're losing so much precious time with our loved ones, and we'll see what happens. I just wanted to share this article to you guys about what's happening in England and their weekly tests. Imagine like a 2-year-old having, like a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, I don't know what's the age that they start SIDS, having to go through that test. So let's say a kid has it, right? Like, let's just think about it. I don't think the planning is right, because if you go home and you're testing your kids at home and one of them comes out positive, then you're gonna notify the school. The minute you notify the school, everybody else is gonna be like, okay, lock it out. Like the trauma. Because of course somebody's gonna say, well, why am I not going to school today, mom? Well, you're positive. Oh, and then they shut down my entire school because I got tested positive. Like the trauma that the kids are gonna go through, having to go through that test too. When we're telling kids, don't put that anything on up your nose, they're gonna put a stick again. I don't know, I think about stuff like that. But anyways, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos. Thank you for subscribing. I've been putting a lot of advertisement for my brand, Julista Designs. You can learn more about me or click on the website links that I'm posting here on the video description. I hope everybody's having a great Monday. God bless.